Amara sat in the back of the theoretical physics seminar, as she always did. The other students barely noticed her, a quiet human among brilliant aliens from advanced civilizations. She took notes, listened intently, but rarely spoke. Her instructors had initially interpreted her silence as lack of understanding. They had long since abandoned that assumption. The problem had plagued the Galactic Institute for 17 years. It was deceptively simple: how to stabilize quantum entanglement across dimensional boundaries. The applications were revolutionary: instant communication across any distance, unified understanding of parallel universes, the foundation for technologies that would reshape civilization. Every theoretical physicist in the galaxy had attempted it. Every advanced AI had run billions of simulations. Every approach had failed. Professor Kaldor presented the latest iteration of failed research to the seminar. Another dead end. Another year wasted. The frustration in his crystalline features was visible even to human observers. Amara raised her hand. The silence that followed was profound. Amara had never spoken in seminar. The other students turned to stare. Professor Kaldor, who had stopped expecting human contribution years ago, paused mid-sentence. "Yes," he asked, unable to hide his surprise. "I think the problem is that you're trying to solve it," Amara said quietly. "You keep assuming entanglement needs to be stabilized. But what if it needs to be translated instead?" The room fell silent. The question made no mathematical sense. Entanglement couldn't be translated, it either existed or it didn't. "Explain," Professor Kaldor commanded. Amara stood, moving to the holographic display. Her hands moved with surprising confidence as she began sketching equations. "On Earth, we have a concept called translation. When data crosses from one medium to another, digital to biological, quantum to classical, it doesn't stay the same. It transforms. It becomes compatible with the new environment while maintaining its essential information." She pulled up biological examples: how DNA information persists across generations despite physical transformation, how consciousness seems to persist despite the constant replacement of neural cells. What if dimensional entanglement is the same? Amara continued. What if instead of fighting to keep it stable across dimensional boundaries, you let it transform? You let it translate itself into whatever format each dimension requires, while maintaining the essential quantum relationship? She displayed a new mathematical framework, one that seemed to combine quantum mechanics with biological information theory, creating a hybrid approach no pure physicist would have considered. Professor Kaldor ran the equations through the Institute's most powerful computers. The simulations ran. And ran. And suddenly, impossibly, they stabilized. The breakthrough cascaded through the academic community. Within weeks, research groups across the galaxy were implementing Amara's framework. Within months, the first-dimensional communication systems were operational. Within a year, the theoretical foundation that Amara had provided was revolutionizing multiple fields of physics. The Institute held a celebration. Amara was invited to speak, to receive recognition, to explain her revolutionary insight to the assembled geniuses of 1,000 worlds. She stood at the podium, still quiet, still uncomfortable with attention. "The reason I could solve this," she said simply, "is because I think differently. Your species evolved in advanced civilizations with perfect information systems. You think in pure mathematics because mathematics has always worked for you. But humans evolved on a world where information is messy. Where signals degrade. Where perfection isn't an option." She paused, organizing her thoughts. "We learned to work with broken systems. To translate between incompatible formats. To maintain meaning despite loss of fidelity. On Earth, we constantly translate, between languages, between cultures, between digital and biological. We're experts at transformation." Professor Kaldor leaned forward with genuine interest. "Are you suggesting human cognitive development is fundamentally different?" I'm suggesting, Amara replied, that advanced species solve problems through refinement, making things purer, more precise, more perfect. But sometimes the solution requires translation instead. It requires accepting that information transforms, and working with that transformation rather than against it. The revelation spread through academic circles. Universities began deliberately integrating human perspectives into theoretical research. Not because humans were smarter, but because human minds had evolved to think about problems in fundamentally different ways. Amara never became famous. She continued attending seminars, continued sitting quietly, occasionally offering insights that reframed entire fields of study. But her greatest contribution wasn't any single discovery. It was teaching the galaxy that sometimes the most revolutionary ideas come not from speaking loudly, but from listening deeply and thinking differently about problems everyone else has already solved in the